Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the attack on Pearl Harbor. So, the first thing that I wanted to clear up to everyone is that the reason why I decided to talk about this topic specifically is because I think that this event changed drastically the how the war was going, how the Second World War was going, and I think that this event had such a big impact on the war, and also because I think that not many people know about this event, especially to people who are from South America, because usually they don't they don't talk about this specific event. So I thought that this could be the best way the the best way to to express and to inform everyone who doesn't know about this event. So what happened? So according to the Pacific atrocities, the Pearl Harbor attack was an attack made by the Japanese to the U.S. naval base located in the island of Oahu, Hawaii. The attack took place the 7th of December of 1941. So just to make everyone in context, we are in the Second World War. So at the beginning, the United States wasn't going to participate on this war, but thanks to the Japanese, the United States uh, participated at the end. Why did Japan decided to attack Pearl Harbor? Well, throughout my research, I found out that during that time, you know, Japan and the United States were having a lot of tension. So, according to history, by the time the first Japanese bomber appeared over Pearl Harbor on December 7th of 1941, the tension between Japan and the United States has been mounting for a better part of a decade, making like a war seem inevitable. So this is basically telling us that there are a couple of reasons why Japan decided to attack Pearl Harbor. So besides the reason that I just gave about the tension that these two countries were having at the time, Japan wanted to expand to China to solve some democratic and economical problems. So in 1937, when Japan decided to declare a war on China, America was against this idea. So they responded with trade embargoes and economic sanctions. So this is basically telling that there's more than just one reason why why Japan decided to attack Pearl Harbor. The question that many people of you may be asking right now is why Japan had a big success in the attack. So obviously there's a couple of factors that determine why Japan had such a big success in the attack. Obviously the strategy, the weapons that the Japanese had. But throughout the research, I also found out that the specific reason why they had such a big success was that according to the National World War II Museum and multiple other websites confirmed that in that day the U.S. government wasn't expecting any attack, and that is why it ended like in a tragedy for the United States. So this is basically telling us that the United States didn't have any idea that on that day Japan was going to attack Pearl Harbor. So this is basically telling that the reason why you know Japan had such a big success was because the United States wasn't expecting any attack. So how many people died in this attack? So according to census, the attack killed 2,403 U.S. personnel, including 68 victims, and destroyed or damaged 19 U.S. Navy ships, including 8 battleships. So from this, we can conclude that one of the purpose of the attack was to destroy all the army power that the United States had in the Pacific at the time, because as I mentioned it at the beginning of the presentation, there's a war going on. So and United States has always been like a country with a big army. So it was a pretty strategic decision to attack Pearl Harbor because it will make the United States naval ships go down. I mean, they won't have any like power in the sea, and besides that, they killed a lot of United States soldiers. Then I think that it happened is that the consequences on the attack on Pearl Harbor. So obviously, the United States was going to respond to the attack that the Japanese made. So the consequences was that, according to history, on August 6th of 1945, during the Second World War, American B-29 bomber dropped the world's first deployed atomic bomb over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. So through, in this website, it took the explosion immediately killed an estimated of 80,000 people, and tens of hundreds more would die later due to the radiation of the explosion. So, and besides that, 3 days later, a second B-29 dropped another A bomb on Nagasaki, killing an estimated of 40,000 people. So it is obviously to tell that the attack of the United States had a bigger, impact on the Japanese, not only for the destruction that they made, but also for the people that die. But it's a war. I mean, Japan attacked first the United States, even though the United States said that they weren't going to participate in this world war. So it's really tragic to see what kind of things happened at that time. So and it made me realize that it's good to have the United Nations, who by the way were created after the Second World War, just to prevent that there isn't more world wars. Conclusion. In conclusion, this event changed totally the path of the Second World War, because according to log, on the December 7th of 1941, following the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor, the United States declared war on Japan, and 3 days later, after Germany and Italy declared war on it, the United States became fully engaged in the Second World War. So as I mentioned throughout my presentation, the United States wasn't supposed or didn't have any plans on participating on this event, on this World War. So this event, changed drastically how the war was going and how the war ended, because the United States have always had such a big, let's say, army power. So obviously, if the United States were fighting the war, it will obviously help, obviously will help. And also, I wanted to have like a recommendation, because this is such a big event in history that there's even a movie about it, which I already saw it, and to be quite honest, it's a really good movie, and it tells really how the war was and how the attack was, and and besides that, the actors did really good performance on it, and besides that, the content of the movie, it's actually really have good relationship with the actual event. So it's a really good movie that tells a really good how the attack was. So I really recommend if you like this topic and you wanted to watch a movie about it. So here are my references. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it.